Mr. Is the Registrar of the Nigerian Council of Food Science and Technology, President in Abuja. The office is in Abuja.
So please, can you tell us briefly about the organization, what you do?
Yes, Nigerian Council of Food Science and Technology, NICFoST, is a regulatory body. We regulate the practice and profession of food science and technology in Nigeria. And what that means is that the professionals that work with food scientific issues, matters, are the people we regulate. We regulate them and ensure that the premises they work fit the purpose for that work. The food premises they work fit the purpose for the work they are doing in any establishment.
So how are you encountering challenges in doing this your work, especially in Nigeria in this hard time? Your challenges. How have you encountering some challenges in doing your work? Some people understand what you do. Just tell us some challenges.
Well, I wouldn't call them challenges because challenges are stepping stones. So when you encounter challenges, it's for you to jump ahead to provide solution. The kind of challenges or stepping stones we encounter are such that normally make us innovative on the next step to follow. For instance, the issue of funding, issue of funding for every organization you don't want to talk about, you don't have fund, but that little you have, you put it to use as much as you can so that you don't complain. So people will see what you have been able to do with the little fund you have rather than complain over it. Like I said, it's a stepping stone. Issue of, for us now in Nigerian Council of Food Science and Tech, we have two major issues that are facing us, but we don't want to get deterred by those issues. The number one issue is about the pronouncement by the Presidential Committee on Salaries. They have said that the government will no longer fund professional bodies or councils with effect from 2024, and that is this year. But they gave us, they allowed the Nigerian Council of Food Science and Tech, NICFoST, to exit funding in 2026. That's about a year ahead now because this is 2024. What that means is that by 2026 we will not receive funding from government, and to remind us, Nigerian Council of Food Science and Tech is just 4 years old, and we've done tremendously by going by the funding we have received so far. 2026 is very close, and if we are allowed to exit, it means we have issues of sustaining the staff that we have. We're assured when the budget office of the Federation organized a meeting of the heads of the professional bodies council, we are assured that such staff will be absorbed in the mainstream, in the Federal Civil Service. We are hoping on that assurance that come 2026, it will not be a challenge for us to be able to keep the staff that we have. The reason is that we're supposed to be to generate revenue for government, but we are just 4 years. I don't see any organization that is 4 years and is able to sustain itself. It's a gradual process, and we hope government will know the fact that it's a new organization, and the professionals, due to the economic situation, are not economically empowered to be able to now say, okay, they are coming to register, they will rush to register. They can't rush to register because most of them have no work, and that's a big issue there, because when they are empowered economically, then they'll be able to register, and then will be able to exit the funding by government. But so that's one of the challenges. The other one is on the restructuring. If they see a council that is just 4 years old, is still a baby about to crawl, so we should allow the baby to crawl, because we have enormous work to do in Nigeria. Enormous work in terms of food safety, food security, even though food safety is an aspect of food security. Public health. Public health is one big issue in Nigeria with respect to food safety. Safety of food that we eat. I will tell you why that is so. Then we have issues of diversification of the economy through food innovation in the country. So going by public health, we know that the challenges, most people are not confident to go out there buying things, foodstuff from the market. They are scared. But with the advent of Nigerian Council of Food Science and Tech, and if given the opportunity to thrive, we'll be able to sanitize the food environment so that people can be confident. So it's an enormous thing for the council. The work ahead is enormous. Government should give the council a support the council to do the needful. The needful in the sense that if you look at the enormous work, the regulatory arm of food at the federal level has been a little bit taken care of, but at the downstream, the local government, the council, we see a lot of things that happen there, even though some of the activities are expected to get extended for export, for instance. So we can't be basing our work just for the fact that we get materials, food products for export at local government. Tells you how important the downstream is. And as I speak, we don't have done baseline studies to show that food issues are being neglected at this downstream, and that is why we have the issues. At that local government level, we discovered from the baseline studies that most of the local governments have no food scientific officers at that level, and that's why the gap is there, that people just do anything they like with issues of food. I can mention a few of most of these unprofessional practices that take place at this downstream. And if we have these food scientific officers given the right duties, by the local government, there will be less issues, because at the local government you are expected to know, at the council level, ward level, you are expected to know what your neighbor is doing. The staff at that local government will know that each of the household there, they will know what they are doing if they have this staff, and they will be able to regulate the practices, the unprofessional practices at that level. And one of it is the issue of cassava. I used to hear until I got to know that it's really happening, that people, the cassava we know, people to make fufu with it, they soak it with powdered soap and sometimes typo. What they want to achieve is they want to achieve whitening, a lot that the fufu is white. And the other issue is they want it to soften more so that they don't lose so much of the pulp of when it's soaked. You know, but they have failed to understand the harmful effects. Hypo is a chemical. Powder soap is chemical. So you don't, and they are not food grade chemicals, so it's not permitted to be used in food. Same thing when we talk about ripening of fruits and plantain, banana, other vegetables, they pluck these things unmatured and they want to ripen it. And then they add carbide. They use carbide to ripen it. These are not chemical. They are not food, they are chemical. We have better ways of doing this. Each name that they are trying to use to ripen first and foremost, you need to allow the fruit to ripen. At the point where it is fully mature, once you take it off, you can easily market them at the point in time. You know, so that's even the issue, not even about adding it lean or the carbide to ripen them. So, but allowing these fruits to mature on the trees, we lessen the use of trying to say you want to ripen them by force. Then you now use carbide, which is chemical. The other one that is, there are so many. Is it the red oil that they add to them for to thicken, to make it bread, and they bulk it by adding whatever else so it becomes more in after production. Or the garri that they expose, people go about, they will take the garri straight from, because that's the one we are trying to tell government that we need to look at, to use simple technology that we have, sealing machine, just simple sealing machine, or simple tying the garri in before you take it to the public place to sell. And when the one you leave in the home should be properly kept so that it doesn't get contaminated. So you see people expose garri, and people who want to buy, they are exposed to danger of being, if for instance those that are not preserved properly at home, this long-mouthed rat goes to urinate on the garri and then take it to the market. Further contamination by people who are sneezing, who are coughing, and lung as they pass by the food, compound the problem. So many issues, and just mentioning a few. Is it the meat, the cow, the skin of cow that they use burning tires to remove the skin, you know, so to remove the hairs, you know. So there are many issues, and these are the problems at the downstream, which the regulatory bodies at the federal level are not able to cover because of the enormous work there. So there's so much at the local government. Once we're able to the food scientific officers. Then we have less of issues for export. Right now, the brown beans from Nigeria cannot be. The European Union put suspended the export because since 2015, and it's still till today, whichever beans you see in the market outside of these shores, maybe in the UK, elsewhere, the beans is not from Nigeria, even though they put Nigeria. Even if it's Nigeria is smuggled to other neighboring countries, and then they from there, you know. So, but these are the issues. We have export, because from that downstream, from the local government, you get these ground beans, for instance, for export and all that. The quarantine stops at the federal level. They hardly do local quarantine. So these are the work that is left, the oversight function, apart from getting a register of professionals who we actually man this, regulate these people, they regulate those that all the scientific standards at the federal level and the local level, government level. And once we are able to penetrate along the food value chain in Nigeria, then that penetration means the individual, the organizations, the food industries, in the industry, when they're able to use the licensed food professionals, then the work will be the food safety environment will be sorted out, the public health will be sorted out, the food security will be sorted out, and trade, farmers, because if you don't have good food and you want to trade, just like the brown beans that cannot be, that have been suspended by the EU, we won't be able to, and we are losing revenue from that, and then we are talking about diversification. So that's the important. So I mentioned two things: the restructuring committee trying to give us stress. We hope that they will see the reason why NICFoST should be there, and then the other presidential committee on salaries should be able to make sure the NICFoST does not exceed funding by government. We are now in time because we have the internally generated fund for the government. You know.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I have said a lot. In all this, I wanted to ask that that you have already touchlight on that area of enlightening people, training and retraining, because some of these people, they are not aware of all these things. You understand? So I know that this organization is doing a lot. So in all this now, what is your advice to all those people, especially those people? My mother is in the village that they will just get a palm oil. I remember a time I went to a village to go and buy something, do a documentary there, and I saw one woman, good oil. Before I turned back like this, I saw her putting the chemical, that red chemical, inside the oil, and I turned the oil. So I was, why did you do this? He said, if you not do it like this, people say, if you not do it like this, people not go buy you. They will say your oil no red. You. What am I trying to say? So we need more enlightenment to campaign. I know that funding will come. Let's look at 2026 or 2027. So in what you know that you can put in place to enlighten those communities, rural area. I know you have spoken a lot of it.
Yeah, right now we are engaging the local government, because we know once Nigeria gets it right and the local government, these issues will be, like I said, we are working with the local government now, and the first step we have taken is to develop guidelines on street market and street food. guideline on market and street food safety practices. So once we get the guideline, that will be in 2025, maybe first week of, and then we train the food handlers, the food safety scientific officers at the local government. They may not be calling most of them food scientific officers, but we know that some persons, one or two, may be involved in handling food scientific issues at the local government. So we tend to use that guideline, train these food handlers, train the food scientific officers or those who are already handling food scientific matters at the local government. Once we get them trained, in Nigeria, they'll go about doing the work because we get them trained, and since they don't have protocol checklists for which they will use, that guideline will serve them a lot to be able to work through their, because during the training we'll be able to let them know what their duties are at the local government. Because right now, some of them are employed, but they are not doing what they should be doing at the local government. We only have environmental health officers who are there to look at the aesthetic, the hygiene. Food issue does not stop at hygiene. You know, food issues go beyond food hygiene. There's the science of it, there's the technology of it. And that's the part that food professionals have to play to make food safe, to make food exportable, to make Nigeria get out of public health issues, make our food exportable so people are confident and comfortable to buy our food and eat without issues.
Sorry, if I may ask, people like us and that are not the farmer, people like us and people, especially people who are living in the city, that they don't know the difference between the chemical oil and the normal oil and the fufu, all those things. What is your advice to them? How do they know? What is your advice to them? Because this thing is causing health challenges, and sometimes when they go to hospital, they can't detect. They will say this is this and this, all those. What is your advice to them?
Well, what I personally do is I get food from the source. From the source, meaning I go down to wherever food is produced to get I'll give you an example. Beans, for instance. During November, December, January, February, any beans you see, you find in the market is without weevil, and it's directly harvested from the farmers. You get them, preserve them yourself. Then because we are yet to educate those food farmers who, it's the middlemen, because they buy all these beans from the farmers and then want to store. They store, before they store, they put the chemicals they need to ward off the weevils and ants that will get into the beans. So my advice is always get to the source for now. By the time we finish our work, by the time we work with the local government, the farmer from the local government, we're able to work with the food scientific officers who are supposed to be regulating those. These problems will be reduced at the local government. So you buy your food at source as much as you can. At source meaning, if you know if it's red oil, anybody that produces red oil, you go straight to the person too. Because we did another baseline studies on at what stages they commit this food fraud. Right from the production, they don't commit the food fraud, but it's just the activities of the middlemen that cause these issues. So as much as you can, until NICFoST is able to help government to sanitize this of professional practices, get your food straight from the source, the primary source where this food. But it's difficult though, because you are in town and may not know your way, but seek the advice of the professionals. We have Nigerian Council of Food Science and Tech has the list, register of food professionals. Get to know where they are, get to know what they are doing, get your advice on where to source your food, on how to even preserve your food from them. So we have a register of these food professionals. They will give you advice if you're an exporter, if you're a producer for local markets. Well and good. Seek the advice, get those professionals engaged to help you get the best safe food, safe nutritious food to eat.
The last questions, I wanted to know. In Nigeria now, even though to control animal is difficult. In Nigeria, you tell somebody that this is how it's supposed to do. They will still go contrary to the guideline. Is there any method either to prosecute or something like any legal action, or if there is anything, if you go contrary to the law, this is what is the consequence or not? Is there anything like that in the Nigeria Council of Food Society Technology?
Well, like I said, we regulate the professionals, and there is ethics of the profession. If you employ a professional, that professional has the skill and inbuilt ethics that he or she will not go contrary to the training he has. And he knows he will be held responsible for any issues that arise. So what I keep saying is that punishment or no punishment, the punishment will be meted on the food professional who has failed to do his work or her work. For instance, if in the local government you are, and no professional that you engage that want to do things contrary, unless the person is not a proper professional. So once you engage the professional to handle your food scientific matters, you will have no issue. So, but the punishment is on that food professional if anything goes wrong. And I'm assuring you that professionals that the council is here to regulate, they know their earnings, they will work within the guideline. We are just having our first register, so all the people who are there, they are all passionate about food issues. So I don't see any one of them now going contrary. The enforcement we only do is to ensure that all of them that are food professionals should register and be on that register, so that those who are ready to employ them, to engage them, we find people in the register to engage. In that way, punishment or no punishment, we reduce, because it's not about focusing on punishment, it's about focusing on getting them have the skill and imbibe the ethics of the professional in the professionals.
Thank you very much, ma'am.